We are making my husband's chili recipe. It is the best chili I've ever tasted, and we've actually entered it into a couple contests at my work before, and he's won the chili cook-off several times, so I know other people love it too. It is 7 ingredients, pretty easy to make. So the first, a cup of tomato soup, a can of tomato soup with 1 cup of water. Beef broth, we like the better than bouillon. 11 ounces of the beef broth, 1 pound of ground beef, 1 pound of Bob Evans sausage, a whole onion, 2 normal sized green peppers. We like to use the sweet peppers and they're a little bit smaller, but this is essentially the equivalent of 2 regular sized green peppers, and 5 tablespoons of chili powder. We cook both the pork sausage and beef in the same pan because they cook pretty much at the same temperature at the same time. And we are using the same pan that we're going to cook the chili in to save a little more time. Once the beef is almost cooked all the way, go ahead and add the onion. And then cook it a little longer. So for the peppers, take out the seeds, cut off the tops. Side note, the reason these peppers look a little soft is they were frozen. They taste just as good as fresh, but we did buy them last month and they were in the freezer. So take your peppers, add your tomato soup, 1 can of tomato soup. Add the 1 cup of water to the can to get all the juice out. Yeah, well, you want to make sure you get all that juice out.
Yeah, get the juice, tomato juice. Oh, in the spatula it doesn't fit, which is really great. That really helps things.
All right, and then add the beef broth. And the reason we didn't like finely cut the green pepper like we did the onion is because we're actually going to blend this all together. We don't really like chunks of pepper in our chili. We don't mind the onion, but we just don't really like chunks of pepper. So our personal preference is to blend all this stuff in together. You can use a blender, but we have a hand, what do they call them, emulsion blenders? Whatever they're called, we got this. We got it at Kohl's and we absolutely love it. All right, so once the meat is cooked, you add your tomato mixture. And now you cook it for...
I would cook it, you bring it to a boil.
Bring it to a boil.
And then add the powder.
Okay, so once it brings, the only thing we haven't added yet is the chili powder. But Robert says wait until this comes to a boil.
That's what he says.
The chili has come to a boil, so now we add the chili powder. Stir it all together. Take your temperature down to a simmer, and we let it simmer for how long?
An hour.
An hour.
You can actually let it go a couple hours, but an hour. I like an hour. And make sure it simmers and not boils, because there's a difference. It's kind of, I didn't know that before, and it cooks it faster. So if you cook it for an hour, boiling it, I'm not sure what you'll have.
Okay. So
I can't make any promises.
We just like to simmer it.
I actually cover it and simmer. Now, if you're noticing it's too watery after an hour, then I would take the lid off and let it cook down a little bit.
And this is perfect for like if you started on the stove but you want to cook it in a crock pot, because like when you have cook-offs at work, everyone brings their chili in a crock pot. So that is another way to do it. So there we go.
Let that sucker cook.
All right, cook for an hour. And an hour later, the chili is done. It is so good. We eat ours with Velveeta cheese and saltine crackers.